Hello and assalamu alaikum. Welcome to an exciting episode of our healing podcast. This is me, Mariam, and I'm thrilled to have you join me today. Today we will discuss about self-validation. Our topic for today has to do with self-validation. Let's begin with the very basic definition of self-validation. It is the act of recognizing and accepting your own thoughts, your own feelings. It involves acknowledging your own worth, your emotions, and beliefs without being dependent on any external validation or approval from others. Self validation is a very much important aspect of building self esteem, to build self confidence and self compassion, self acceptance, and actually overall your emotional well being. It is that much important. Also, self validation allows us to trust our own intuitions and to make decisions. But on the other hand, self betrayal is very common when our sense of self when our self-worth comes from the validation or approval we get from the outside, we get from others. In our attempt to gain external validation and approval from society, we 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 tend to deny our own needs and become a version of ourselves that isn't authentic to who we actually are. Yes, we actually betray ourselves when we do not trust ourselves and we start looking to other people's validation to guide our choices or our behavior. It really doesn't mean that we shouldn't listen to other people and we cannot hear other people's opinion. We have to take them into account. It just means that we should ask ourselves, like, how this choice make me feel about me. We often think betrayal as something that others do to us, but sometimes we do this to ourselves. Trust me, betrayal is something that sometimes we do this to our own selves. And the desire to be loved and seen by other people, by the society, to be accepted by society, can sometimes lead us to engage in people pleasing behaviors, which can indeed compromise our authenticity. So you have to look for your authentic self. You have to be very clear on what is it you believe in. What is it you believe in, and not what's popular to believe, not what someone else told you to do, that you should believe. When we constantly seek external validation and mold ourselves to meet other people's expectations, to fit their expectations, we may find it very challenging to express our true thoughts, our true feelings and opinions. This can create a sense of disconnection from ourselves and affect our authenticity, right? We may fear rejection or criticism if we reveal our true selves. So we put on mask and try to be who we think others want us to be. So we should know, how can we stop betraying ourselves and regain our self-validation? To preserve our authenticity while still seeking connection and love, it is very crucial to cultivate self awareness and self acceptance. When it comes to self validation, it is very much important. Being aware of our own emotions and recognizing that they are natural and valid responses to various situations is much needed. We need to feel and acknowledge our own emotions without judgment. And for that reason, settling healthy boundaries is very much important aspect of maintaining authenticity and self-validation. Like, for example, learning to say no when it is necessary and prioritizing our own well-being. And it helps us to avoid over overextending ourselves to please others, right? Self acceptance, it is equally very important. Embracing all of all the aspects of ourselves, including our strengths, weaknesses and imperfections. Not only our strength but also our weaknesses, our shortcomings, our negative points as well. Accept that it's okay to have different thoughts and different opinions and preferences. That's totally fine. It is totally fine to have different perspective from others. You know, you have to trust your instincts. We have to trust our instincts, because our instincts tell us a lot about ourselves. We should learn to trust our intuitions and judgment. We should recognize that we have the ability to make decisions and choices that are right for us. And this doesn't mean disregarding other people perspectives and their opinions, but rather honoring our own inner wisdom, right? And acknowledge and celebrate your little efforts, your little accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. But recognizing, our efforts and the progress we have made, even if it doesn't align with social expectations, with societal, expectations, their standards, because only you know how much you have went through to get there. Only we know that. Acknowledge yourself. And then prioritizing and practice self-care is also very important. It is very important to maintain a positive sense of self and validate your own needs. Also, speaking your truth can be very important to you, even if it may not always be appreciated by others. It's natural to desire acceptance and understanding from others. It is very natural desire that we need to be accepted. We want to be loved, we want to be acknowledged by others. Whenever we do something, we really have this desire, we have this urge to be accepted by by our family, by our, by our society. But it's also very important to stay true to yourself. And yes, speaking your truth doesn't mean that you have to be disrespectful or confrontational towards others. No, it's not that, it's not like that. But it is very important to recognize that different people may perceive truth differently based on their own perception, on their own beliefs and perspectives, and on their own experiences. Just as you have the right to speak your truth, others also have the same right. So that's totally fine. Everyone have the right to have their own opinions on judgment, right? Remember that self-validation is a complete journey, and it doesn't mean disregarding constructive um, feedback from other people, or never seeking support from other people. It simply means valuing and trusting yourself. By cultivating self validation, you can develop a stronger sense of self and develop a healthier relationship with your own self and others. And this is how we can develop and practice a good sense of self, and also we can prevent ourselves from self betraying. And I really hope that you enjoyed the discussion and found it somewhat informative and entertaining. Thank you so very much for joining me on this episode of my podcast. I really appreciate your time and your support.